What up folks, Halfmoon here, and today we're gonna take a look at a very good fixed blade knife. And I rarely review fixed blade knives just because I don't use them a whole lot. But you know, for my work I spent 2 months in the Reunion Island, which is right here. So I've got a map here. Reunion Island, this is Africa. Reunion Island is this small little dot here in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Really cool place, and I spent 2 months over there from September to November 2010. Really small island. You can make the tour in about 2 hours of core or even less. Fantastic place. You know, there's tons of hikes to do, and because of the tropical weather I didn't want to take my SE4 because it is a carbon steel and I was afraid that it would rust easily, so I decided to buy a good stainless steel blade and got myself the Fallkniven F1. I also bought a Mora clipper with the stainless steel blade. Don't remember the number of the model. It got to be like the 640 or something like that. Great knife. I got it for like 15 euros shipped. Awesome price on that. And I've been using this as a diving knife actually, so I wanted something cheap, you know, with a good corrosion resistance. And it worked great, you know, it didn't rust at all. Even though I let it wet with seawater in the bag for like 2 days, and I've been trying to hunt tropical fishes with that, and actually they're way too fast. I mean, you know, I've watched this TV show Man vs. Wild, you probably watch it too, and on an episode you got Bear Grylls, and he tried to fish with a knife underwater, and you know, I was like, come on man, just be faster, it's easy. Actually it's not, you know, I didn't even touch one, so it was really hard. Yeah, good knife this one. But anyways, let's focus on the subject here. So the F1. So let's start off with the handle. The material of the handle is called Thermoron, and it's a kind of a hard rubberized plastic. Extremely comfortable, and you got some gripping texture here on both sides. It's really ergonomic. You know, some people say that the lanyard hole is not well positioned, it should be more up here, which is right, you know, but as I don't use lanyards I just don't really care about it. One thing that I really love about the handle is the fact that there is this little steel portion here on the back, and this is really useful. You know, if you want to put the blade on surface and then just hitting the back of the knife with a hammer or a stone or a piece of wood or whatever, extremely resistant, you know, and very useful. I've opened more than a dozen of coconuts with that, and I've used the F1 to remove the whole fiber coatings all around the shell of the coconut itself. And when I had the coconut cleaned up, I used the F1, you know, putting the tip of the blade on the top of the nut and then hitting the back with a hammer to make 2 holes in the shell, you know, to be able to evacuate the water inside before splitting it up with a machete. So I really enjoy to do that, you know, and I highly appreciated this steel portion here on the back. Yeah, by the way, this is a full tank construction, so this is not an insert. It's actually one single portion of steel from the back to the tip, which is great, more resistant. The finger guard is really well designed and locks up tightly your hand on the handle, which is very safe for any cutting task. What else? Yeah, the blade. Let's talk about the blade. Love the shape. You got a very good belly here, and edge retention is good, mainly for 2 reasons. This is VG10 steel. It's a very good steel, and this one is a laminated steel, so it means that it's kind of a sandwich construction that's gonna give more resistance to the blade. The second reason is about the edge geometry. It's a full convex grind, That's gonna hold an edge better than a classic V grind. But it is a stainless steel, you know, so definitely not as tough as a carbon steel. So if you push it hard like I did, you know, opening coconuts, I mean it's kind of a tough job for the edge. Well, it's gonna chip, you know, no big chips, but I had a lot of microchips here on the edge. Simply because it is not as tough as a carbon steel can be. But of course the advantage is that it's way more rust resistance. So I had any rust issues all over the trip. And it's a convex run, you know, so you cannot sharpen it on the Spyderco Sharp Maker. You gotta buy a leather strobe system, you know, with some compound to sharpen it, which I don't have, so I haven't resharpened it ever since then, and almost haven't used it, you know, for almost a year right now. But I will eventually get a sharpening device for that. So I've used it a lot to cut some wood, and it works really fine on wood, by the way. So I've cut some fishes, some pineapples, you know, a lot of different things, from really tough to relatively limp ones. And it did a great job, you know, it cuts very well, even though the slicing capabilities are kind of limited because of the thick blade. It's 5mm thick, so it's pretty thick. But you know, it's a survival knife, so you need it to be thick and resistant. So yeah, that's it for the knife. Let's take a look at the sheath. I find it pretty ugly. Looks kinda cheap, truth be told, but I really like it, and I believe the Zytel version is superior to the leather sheath, because it is full nylon and Zytel, so even if you got your sheath soaking wet, it's not gonna damage it by any means. And it's really slim, you know, that's another great advantage of this one. So in a really narrow and slim package, you got your knife inside the sheath. Just to give you a comparison here, got my my SE4, and you see that it takes much more space. Yeah, one thing that I do not like about the sheath is this snap here. I think it's too hard to open it, one-handed especially. So I thought maybe I could just cut this nylon part here, but knife retention in the sheath is pretty poor. So when I go hiking with the knife, I usually put the sheath to my belt, you know, with this nylon loop here, and I let the snap open like that, you know, when I'm walking. And if it gets a little harder, like climbing or running or swimming, or, you know, I mean, if I think that I could be able to lose the knife, then I just clip the snap, and I know the knife is not gonna go anywhere, because when it's closed, knife retention is in its sheath is very good. I mean, it's not moving at all. Let's talk about the price. Price range on this knife, got mine on knifeshipfree.com, which is a very good website with great prices. The shipping cost for us Europeans was low, you know, considering the name of the website. I guess that the knives are shipped free for United States resident, I believe. For Europe I paid $12, so something like €9 for shipping. But very recently they changed their policy because of the shipping issues outside the US. So currently it's gotta be like $35 or $40, you know, just like the other famous website around. So not necessarily as interesting as it used to be. So the knife itself cost me €87 plus 9 for the shipping, so which is a total of 96 euros, which is a pretty good price, I think, considering that what you get, you know, I mean, it's pretty decent. So yeah, fantastic knife, guys. You know, the F1 is really is a very good knife. Good materials and highly reliable. You know, just keep in mind that it is a stainless steel, so you can beat it as strong as a carbon steel, but yeah, but otherwise a very good stuff here. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and do not hesitate to leave a comment. You know, if you have any question, I'd be happy to answer it. Goodbye.